As we dive into the dirty air, clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air just a tad bit better. We are rocking it for you live on a Thursday, pre-eclipse Thursday, as we get in a very busy weekend coming up, coming off of a very busy weekend that we just had. So glad you all are a part of the program tonight. It is Dirty Air with Rodney Rodriguez. Thank you for being a part of the program. And of course, we are, as always, presented by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance Parts right there in Brandon, Mississippi. All the good stuff you were looking for, you can actually message me directly, and I will get you on tap with the best performance parts, anything you need, drivetrain, collision stuff. I am happy to get you in the works with that. Great program we have coming up tonight. I know there's a lot going on tonight. I know there's a lot going on the channel, but I do thank you all for being a part of this. Cole Butcher is going to come up here in just a little bit. Going to talk with him about his big win there at the Sunshine State 200, his plans moving forward. Obviously, last year, second place in the ASA Stars National Tour. So we'll talk to Cole about what he plans to do moving forward. And then the rest of the show for me, and the whole thing is, for me, a lot of these shows, it's always just talking to my buddies. That's the cool part about it. And then I have to go back and kind of dial it back, and then we're just kind of talking professional when it comes to these things. A little bit later on, going to talk to Chris Davidson. That's a good friend of mine here from the Texas area, as he was back on track at Cordele this past weekend. Had a great runner-up finish there well, I'll tell you in just a second because I'm going to go over the results. We'll talk to him, and then coming up a little bit later on, one of my dudes from Pensacola. I always say that the guy has the shittiest job in the world, but they do a great job. It's Logan Boyett. He'll be coming up as well a little bit later on in the program. So all of that and lots more. I'd love your comments, as you are all more than free to check in, because for the most part, this show is live. So if you post a comment there, whether you're on the YouTube or the Facebooks or wherever you're checking this thing out on the Twitter, I'm going to get to your comment and do all that cool stuff. Do have a lot of folks right quick that ask about these T-shirts and so forth. On-demand shirts. It's my friends out of San Antonio, James Cole and those folks. I'll actually be working with them in Corpus this weekend as I head to the South Texas Race Ranch. You can scan that QR code right there. Get yourself some Dirty Air T-shirts, hoodies, caps, all of that stuff, and they will also fix you up if you are a race team looking to get yourself some merchandise at a very much more affordable rate than the stuff that you're going to find online. It is on-demand shirts in San Antonio. Proud local Texas friends of mine that do a really good job. And when I talk about that, I'm very proud to be a representative of them. All right. So I'm going to tell you later on in the show about what we have coming up, but I do want to recap a little bit. It was a great weekend for pro late models. When you look around, Augie Grill with a big one there at Cordele at the return of Cordele Motor Speedway. Ricky and Tracy Brooks and the Nolans did a fantastic job of getting that place in shape. Everything that I saw, it really looked great. I mean, it looked like a state-of-the-art place. And we can actually talk a little bit later on here coming up to Chris. I'll ask him about that because he was obviously on the track right there. But you had that. And then you had my man Justin Smith, a big winner over at Mobile International Speedway, there as the pro late models really taking a big time center stage this past weekend. And pro late models always really good stuff. Speaking of Mobile International Speedway, a happy birthday to my or a post happy birthday to my man Eddie Shoemaker, as he had another birthday. Lots of stuff that Eddie's doing over there at Mobile, and a big happy birthday to him as well. Yesterday, April 3rd, a big happy birthday to one of my great friends and partners here in the racing industry, the media industry that I like to call it, Jacqueline Drake, JKD. She's been on this show many, many times doing great things with NASCAR, the Cars Tour, all these different things. A big happy birthday, post happy birthday to Jacqueline Drake as well. All right, guys. So let's go back and look. One of the things I know last week when I was doing the program, I was doing the show live on Thursday. I thought that I may have to move that show, but the Orange Crush 200 that was actually set for last Thursday actually had to move to Friday. So we were business as usual on Thursday right here on Dirty Air. And they did run that race on Friday, and it was the Texas Effect right here. It was one of my dudes, Kaden Honecutt, the winner of that race. How about some highlights courtesy of the great folks at Racing America?
On the inside, Kaden Honecutt, as the field comes around, green flag is out, and we're underway with the Rogers Heating and Cooling Orange Crush 200.
Jeff Burton waves the flag, and they go side by side up there. Now it's the number 6 pulling ahead there. That is McCarty. Looks like the high side was the way to go. The 17, Honecutt, falls in. He's trying to hold off third and fourth as they come out of turn 4, down the front stretch to lap 1 of 200 here at Orange County Speedway.
Yeah, it looks like something has jumped up and bit it in the front end, that's for sure. It took the entire bottom half of the radiator dam underneath the car, shoved it all the way back to the cross member, and you see the shroud is actually sticking up. It took such a hard hit, it knocked all the brake fan and everything, and all those hoses. That's what's all across the front stretch right now for this debris caution, was all the hoses coming out.
The Rogers Heating and Cooling truck about ready to head off, and there you see the top 8 after the redraw. Bobby McCarty starting back as the green flag is out. He led the first 100 laps. He's going to have to work his way up to the front now as Kaden Honecutt leads down into turn 1.
Well, while he works his way up there, like you just said, Honecutt to the lead there. The number 29 falls in behind. That's Brent Cruz. Cade Brown, he's still up on the high side there as the number 77 works to the inside of him. That's Trevor Ward. And now they come down the front straightaway, still side by side. And there's a little bumping, a little exchanging of some fender action there as they go down the backstretch. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are now single file. How many laps is it going to take? Caution flag comes out, the 0-4. We were just talking to him, and Ronnie Bassett Jr. Window net is down.
As the white flag in the air, let's see how he gets through turns 1 and 2 this time. Down the back straightaway for the final time into turn number 3. Kaden Honecutt going to come around. Checkered flag in the air. He'll take the win here in the Orange Crush 200 and dirt track it across the finish line.
What a finish right there for Honecutt as he wins that race. And that was something where he's been trying to get over the hump right there. And they definitely did that with a big win there at the Orange Crush 200. Really proud of my dude right there doing some really cool stuff. Also, the bigger thing about that, of course, the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation, of course, Ward and Jeb, both a part of that race. You had about $115,000 that was raised out of the proceeds of that race for the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. And that's really a big deal right there. Not only did you have great racing that happened on the speedway right there, but you had even a bigger cause for that. So really excited there that happened. So that was last week. Here's a quick preview of what is coming up, because we got a stacked weekend on Racing America. And then coming up, post that, we're going to talk to Cole Butcher. That's right here. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air, tad bit better. Stick around.
Short tracks in America this weekend. Saturday, UARA sportsmen are at Auburndale, while grassroots racing's best tackle the high banks for the Short Tracks U.S. Nationals at Bristol. Past super late models and the Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series headline the 50th annual Icebreaker at Thompson, and it's bookended by prolates at Five Flags and Nashville. It's all this weekend only on RacingAmerica.tv.
Together. This is where we all get together. We talk racing, we talk life, we talk all kinds of cool things. And to get us started off, we are diving right in, and man, we are going up north, I guess, as it would be. I'm way down south, and we're going up way north. It is the winner of the Sunshine State 200 in dominating fashion. We'll talk about that and other things. It is our man Cole Butcher. Cole, how we doing, man?
Good. How are you guys today?
We're doing well, my friend. We're doing well. Getting ready for the eclipse. How's the eclipse going to be where you are? Over here, people are everybody's coming here to where I'm at, and it's like I don't want y'all here.
I don't know. I seen the maps. It's going to go right through you guys. I don't know where it's going to be here. Honestly, I haven't really been paying attention. I guess I'll have to go do some research when I'm done.
Yeah, it's kind of the least of my concerns. We've
Yeah.
got a lot of traffic problems and different things around here, so it's just like more people to get in the way. So let's dive in and talk about the season so far. Obviously, we can start there and talk about the Sunshine State race. Man, clear cut, dominating fashion for you there. Really good way to start the ASA Stars season for you.
No, for sure. New Samari didn't go as planned. Just getting used to this tire. Took a little bit longer than expected. So we went to Pensacola, did a little bit of testing, and found out what works for us and where it works for me. So it worked really good in Pensacola. We were able to check it off and get the victory. My first win at Five Flags and my second ASA Stars National Tour. So yeah, we're just looking forward to continuing what we just started, and yeah, we just look forward to collecting more victories.
So, Cole, how is that tire more in comparison to? Because I know there's been conversations about American Racer and so forth. With fall off and all that. How is this new or the new user tires? How do they kind of compare versus an American Racer? I haven't got to ask anybody that.
Well, they're pretty similar. Both tires don't really like to wear out unless you're at a really aggressive racetrack like Pensacola or Mobile or what have you. So Cordele didn't really seem to have much tire wear. New Smyrna was very minimal. But New Smyrna, I mean, Five Flags kind of felt like old Five Flags, sorta. The F45 used to come to us, or used to give out like a lot, like halfway through a run. But this one, you still have the right front feel, you still have the right rear in the racetrack. So it's kind of nice, but also once again, it's kind of frustrating because you're expecting everything to wear out and you're expecting the people to come to you if your car's any good. But now it's kind of like pro late model racing with a super motor, so it's just different, and we just have to adapt to it.
Yeah. So, Cole, for you last year, obviously second in the ASA Stars national standings, right there. This year with the start here, just kind of a recap maybe of last year. It started out really strong for you, right there towards the end. Whatever, but still runner up. But overall, a really good start to that new tour last year for you.
No, you're right. We had good success last year. Lots of ups and downs, getting a victory, and then a bunch of top threes, and almost clinching that championship. But it was a good learning curve for myself and Wilson Motorsports, and it just takes us and it makes us just want so much more for 2024.
Yeah. So lots of conversations that I've had here on the show with Donnie. Now that you mentioned him, just some really good equipment right there. That's top of the line stuff that you dive into each and every time.
No, for sure. I've been with Wilson Motorsports for probably the past 6-7 years, and they're the top notch A1 team. Bond Suss is my crew chief, and Dennis Dean being at the shop, Will, Jerry, James, Bob, just everybody, just A1, and I couldn't ask for a better race team.
Yeah. So, Cole, of course, the other part of that for you, there's a family team as well. You and your brother there. That's got to be. I mean, even though that you have the opportunity there to drive for Donnie and so forth, the family based teams, man, that's what the sport is all about. That's got to be cool that you still have the opportunity to do those kind of things.
Yeah, I started racing late models back in 2016, I think, and till this day we're still racing. So we have a handful of cars back in Canada that myself and my brother races. We'll use them to go to Oxford or race the Maritime Pro Stock Tour at home. So yeah, it's definitely a family sport. Wouldn't be able to do it without my family and without my friends. And yeah, it's just going to the racetrack with the people you enjoy and have fun with. That's what it's all about.
Cole, I even though I'm in the very deep south part of Texas, you mentioned Oxford right there. You back-to-back wins in the Oxford 250. I've got a lot of friends up north. One of the guys on staff with me here, Phil Whipple, does great work there up in the main area. Talk about that race and talk about. I mean, it's one thing to win it once, but to win it back-to-back, and now you're going for 3 in a row, maybe. How is that race, man? That just looks like such a great time.
Yeah, it's a difficult race, A, just to get in, and B, just with the live pit stops and everything, you're not used to it. So, yeah, the Mayberries do a great job putting it on. There's actually a couple of races in Oxford this year, but hopefully we can get to them. I know we have a busy schedule, plus my wife's due.
Yeah.
The same day is the Oxford 250. So, priorities are to be with my family and make sure my baby boy's born healthy. But if we get to go race, that's just going to be a bonus. So, But yeah, Oxford 250 is definitely one of the crown jewels. We were able to knock it out of the park twice, and yeah, hopefully if we get to do it 3 times, that'd be great. But if not, I guess two is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So kind of talking about the North and the South, I ask guys all the time from up north when I get them on one of these shows. Kind of talk us about some of the different tendencies when it comes to racing up there versus down here. A lot of people say that the South guys and ladies are a little more aggressive. I watch stuff up north, and there's respect no matter what. But it's definitely a variance right there when it comes to the two different styles. It seems like at times.
Yes and no. I mean, I've raced both of them all last handful of years, and everybody's good, everybody's talented, and they all have their pros and their cons. I don't know. Everybody's kind of the same, honestly. You have your Bubba Pollard, your Stephen Nasse, up in the south. Then you have your DJ Shaws, your Joey Dwyer, and Ben Rowe, Johnny Clark. I mean, they're all talented, and I would say everybody's just there to win. And when you got to get down and dirty, you got to get down and dirty. But I wouldn't really say they're much different. When we go play in their neck of the woods, they have the advantage, and then what have you not. So I don't know. I think everybody's equally as talented, and honestly, the racing's just as good, if not as wherever you go.
Yeah, everybody's chasing the checker flag. That's the bottom line.
Everybody goes to the track with the same agenda.
That's right. So you mentioned that the little one coming along right there, right around Oxford 250 time. Is it on the day? Is that is the due date on the date?
Yeah, August 25th is the due date. No, it's my first child, so I don't know how it all works. I don't know if it's usually early, late, or pretty well dead on. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, man, that's got to be pretty exciting. That's going to be a memorable day, regardless of whatever happens. So for you this year, obviously, point leader right now in the Stars Tour. So for sure, chasing that championship. Hopefully, another Oxford. What else in between with all of that? Is there any gaps in there where you'll be doing other stuff?
We might do car store stuff. We're gonna go home and race a couple races with the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Hopefully, do some pass racing. We're gonna go to Montgomery next weekend and do the I forget the 5th Southern Super Series race, and just to kind of take the Southern Super Series and the Blizzard Series one race at a time. We're leading the Blizzard Series, so we're gonna go back to there in end of the month, and we're just ASA Tour is priority, and the rest is just follows. If we're contention, we're gonna go. If we're pro to contention, we might just use it for practice, or we might just stay home.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Cole, man, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm super excited for you chasing that championship, and also for the kiddo. That's a great time, man. It'll change your life in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways, but mostly good. Excited for a good year for you, man. Thank you for being a part of Dirty Air.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, buddy. Take care. There he is, Cole Butcher. Great conversation right there with him. And again, second place last year in the ASA Stars and Tour, and very much right now with the big win there in the Sunshine State 200. He is at the top of the pylon, and you have to count that dude in. I mean, it is so cool to watch him. I've talked to him a couple of different times, maybe on pit road and so forth, and really solid. And of course, you put him in the Donnie Wilson equipment, and that's only going to make it better. Guys, I do remind you, right here on Dirty Air, we do it 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern every Thursday. Your racetracks, I want to showcase them here on the program. Dirty Air Racing Show at gmail.com. Your 2024 short track spotlight. That's what I'm working on there. So if you've got you got a driver, you've got an event that's coming up, you've got something like that you want showcased on the program, let me know, because I would love to put you in front of people, put you in front of a bunch of people. And I think it's something really cool that we're able to do right here on the platform in the third season, I believe it is, of Dirty Air right here as we dig in on Racing America. All right, later on in the show, I am going to touch on probably towards the end because I've still got lots to do. I've still got lots of really badass dudes to talk to. But at the end, I will touch on that Denny Hamlin restart and all of that. I do want to talk about Bubba Pollard with his finish there in the Xfinity Series, how big I think that is for all of us in the short track racing industry. So I'll talk about that as well. But really, really cool stuff that we have on the program. Again, a big word, Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance, the #1 GM Performance Parts retailer in the United States. I can tell you one thing, guys, the inventory is massive. If there's a part you need, if you're looking for a 604, I had a couple of folks message me today looking for 604s, 602s, even if you're looking for that old 575, those are on the shelf. They're ready to rock and roll. And of course, everything else in between, powertrain, everything. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, they're going to check you out or get you checked out and get you done at the best price that you're going to find in the country. And that is not, I'm not blowing smoke up your skirt, guys. That really is the best price that you're going to find. And I challenge you, test me, shop it around, and then come on back and see if you're not going to find the best price with Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, the great folks there in Brandon, Mississippi. All right, coming up, looking forward to this one. Talking to my man, Chris Davidson, as he gets set to dive back behind the wheel. Well, he did dive back behind the wheel. He's going to break it down for us, and we'll talk about if he's going to be doing that even a little bit more. That is coming up right here. It's where the short trackers gather, guys. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air, a tad bit better. Stick around. More coming up.
Racers are dedicated to winning. And Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed circle track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance circle track crate engines are engineered to win. Right out of the box.
Short tracks in America this weekend. Saturday, UARA sportsmen are at Auburndale, while Grassroots Racing's best tackle the high banks for the Short Tracks U.S. Nationals at Bristol. Past Super Late Models and the Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series headline the 50th annual Icebreaker at Thompson, and it's bookended by Prolates at Five Flags and Nashville. It's all this weekend only on RacingAmerica.tv.
Subscribe today to RacingAmerica.tv to join our racing community and get access to over 200 live pavement short track races each season from across the U.S. and Canada. Plus, RacingAmerica.tv has exclusive and behind-the-scenes coverage of the NASCAR Cup teams.
Enjoy competing with your teammates.
We already know.
Subscribe today and claim additional discounts and access. And your front row seat to watch the excitement and drama.
Car lifts up in the air.
From grassroots to NASCAR, become a subscriber today at the home for race fans everywhere.
You're watching Racing America right here on Racing America.
Racing America. It's in our DNA.
Dive in, just talking short track racing, like I always talk about, right here on Dirty Air. This really is where the short trackers gather. You know, there's lots of other places to consume racing and talk all kinds of stuff, but when you want to talk short track racing, whether it's asphalt or dirt or asphalt, you come here on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central, and we dive in and we talk racing. Speaking of talking racing, let's go back in because short track racing is once again a good place because this man that is joining me now on the Dirty Air is back behind the wheel again, and really cool to see him back behind the wheel. Let's welcome in back to Dirty Air. It is my man, Chris Davidson. Chris, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well, my man. I'm doing well. Easter, good for you guys. I would imagine after the weekend, probably even better. But Easter itself, a good time for you guys.
Yeah. We had minimal sleep. Had to drive back to Atlanta, catch a plane, get home for family stuff. But all in all, not a bad weekend.
Yep, absolutely. So, Chris, let's talk about it for you. I mean, obviously, your team has been a part of everything, but for you to dive back behind the wheel once again there at Cordele, man, that was pretty exciting to see this past weekend.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Had a real good time. Relatively stress-free weekend. Lost a clutch in practice, no big deal. Everything just kind of worked out the way it should have. We had a second place car and we ran second.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So let's talk about that part for you. The good thing about it when you're behind the wheel or away from behind the wheel for a little bit, when you dive back in it, it's like riding a bike. I mean, it really is. It just kind of comes back to you, especially when you got a good setup, you got good equipment and all that good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a couple laps on the track and it's right back to it. Like you said, riding a bike. I think anybody that's done it this long, track you've been to, car you've been in, not really that big a deal to hop back in it.
Yeah. So for you, you've kind of taken the different approach, it seems like right there, into last year, into this year. You've kind of behind the scenes. I mean, you had the team, but you weren't driving. Kind of talk about that part. Is that a lot of times, hell, that's even more stressful than the driving part.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was going to work with Michael Atwell. We had raced together quite a bit. I'd say we were essentially teammates.
Yeah.
For probably the last 2 years, he's gone with us to a lot of races he wasn't at. And to be blunt, trying to give him the opportunity we all wanted at his age, right?
Yeah.
He's a great race car driver. I don't think he gets enough respect for how good a driver he is. He works on his own cars. He understands the setups. Basically everything you really want, right? So I've stepped back driving a little less or a lot less.
Yeah.
But just being whatever, the owner, spotter, help, assistance, whatever, it's actually been really enjoyable. Now, it's not the same as driving the car.
Sure.
But it's to the point where I really love the racing. I'm not so sure that I love the in and out of the car, 42 practices, right? There for 3 days. I'm not a fan of all that stuff anymore, where used to I would live at the track every day.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have somebody with the drive, desire, commitment, and capability that he has and just kind of help him along his journey.
Yeah. I get that question a lot on the local level where people ask me, do you miss the driving all the time? And it's like, I miss sitting on the grid. I miss being ready to go on the track. That part I miss. All the other stuff, and me, not near like you guys do. That's the stuff, man. The wear and tear. People don't understand that when you're doing this, especially independent. I mean, when you have your own team, man, it is a grind. It is a freaking grind, and you're not doing this to retire and be a millionaire. It's a labor of love.
Yeah, right. How's the saying go? The way to make a small fortune in racing is to start with a large one. So, no, it's definitely something we love. But yeah, when you consider for the last, 2 decades, we've been beating up and down the interstate 1,000 miles minimum a weekend. It has an effect, right? Still love the racing. Love the racing. Don't necessarily love everything that goes along with it anymore.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about the weekend Cordele. I mean, a brand new right there, deal right there with Ricky and the Nolans. They jump into that, and it was talk about a labor of love. I mean, it was kind of a fire drill for them to get that thing put together, and it looked like they hit a pretty good little grand slam right there. I think the future's looking pretty good there at Cordele.
Yeah, they did an amazing job. The facility looks nothing like it did the last time we were there. No. I suspect it's only going to get better. They did a real good job with being organized, making sure everybody had proper information. I mean, everything you really want as a team, they provided, all the way down to even the tires were good, right? We raced real hard all night long. Tires made the trip, which isn't always the case. So whether it's just the track, combination of the track and the surface, that worked really well. So just all in all, yeah, they did what I would consider an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chris, especially now that you have, because I've watched you kind of, from the time of being behind the wheel all the time to your position now, kind of talk about, because we've had the conversation over the years, and I can kind of go back and we can bookmark them. I mean, it seems like, between the different organizations, whatever you want to call them, sanctioning bodies, on the super side, and even with the pros, it kind of does seem like I'm not going to say that. Friendly fire or anything like that, but it does kind of seem like there's a little bit of continuity maybe brewing there, to where maybe this thing is going to kind of be a better big picture thing for everybody, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I'm not privy to any inside information, obviously, but like you said, it appears that everything's trending the correct direction. I hope everybody gets along and stays getting along, because if we can just keep everything the same, it'll benefit everybody, the racers, the fans, all of the sanctioning bodies, all of the tracks. So I don't know where anybody's at with the process, but it seems to be, for us, less friction overall. So I'd say things are trending the correct direction, if you ask me.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like it's one of those things to where you don't have to, you ain't got to be in love. It's one of those things where it doesn't have to be a romance, but just a little bit of getting along, I think, behooves everyone for the best. So for you this year, obviously you guys kind of give me a preview of what's going on. Is Atwell going to run more races? Will you be in a pro? What's kind of the plan at this point for you guys?
Yeah, so right now Atwell's going to do most, if not all, of the UAR races, nice, plus a couple of special ones. Right, we're going to go to the 25,000 to win at Wenatchee, probably back to Evergreen for the Summer Showdown. It's just same thing, right? We're trying to have fun. He's going to go a bunch of places he's never been.
Yeah.
I'm going to hop in and out whenever I feel it, right? Yeah. Might run the cars race at North Wilkesboro. That looks like fun. Somewhere I've never been. And I don't think, other than up in the Midwest, there's a lot of those places that I haven't been. So let's try to mark another one off the list.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that schedule, kind of at your leisure. That's good. So you're staying on vacation is what you're doing.
Not at all.
Just happen to be spending a shitload of money along the way.
Right, yeah, something along those lines is probably correct.
So, Chris, I'd love your thoughts. It kind of seems back home in Texas, kind of seems like maybe on to something there at Houston. Looks like now 10 dates left, a total of 11. It kind of seems like we were talking about, where there's some momentum and so forth. Lots of work to do back home here. I know you've kind of gone out and observed some stuff. Really glad that at least we're kind of seeing a little bit of something happening back home here.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing an amazing job. Owen specifically, right? Blood, sweat, and tears. It's all effort. Nothing's easy. Car counts up. What it looked like to me, I was there at the first race. Mm-hmm. Car counts up. Fan count looked decent. Again, everything trending in the correct direction. I don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but it's obvious that they're working really, really hard, because you can see the fruit of that labor in the infield for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it really does seem like all of that is really starting to take its path forward. I do want to ask you, I know because your dad there for a while, kind of with the Outlaw thing.
Yep.
I'd love your opinion on that class as we stand right now. I know with UARA, you've got the Sportsmen. There's still the Outlaws and so forth. Kind of your thoughts on that class. I've got a real excitement for that class, hoping that thing would just really blow up here and make itself really, really cool and dominating here in 2024.
Yeah, no, I think that's an amazing class for multiple reasons, right? You don't have to buy a $4,000 body for a car. You can build one.
Yep.
You can run damn near any car you can find. You can make fit the rules. So in general, great class. The difference between the UAR Sportsman and what we have as an Outlaw late model at Houston, there's some rule and engine discrepancies.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the best way to resolve those, because they look the same to the fans, right? But the Outlaws are faster than the UARA cars just by virtue of the engine choice. So there's probably a way they can run them together. And if they could, that'd be awesome. If not, migrate slowly to one set of rules instead of having two different, what we're going to call Outlaw Pro late models, something along those lines, right? So, but yeah, the racing's good. The fans like them. They look cool. Hell, they look fast sitting still. So I think that class has a lot of promise, and it's relatively cost effective as compared to the rest of the late models and modifieds. And you can go drag a car that's 10 or 15 years old out and make it competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they kind of take me back to the old days of being a kid. The old bodies right there. I mean, that's really what I think about when I see those. Chris, man, like I said, man, it was great to see you back on the racetrack this past weekend at Cordele. It's glad to see you right there up at the front of the pack. Super excited for what you guys have in store, dude. And as always, open door here anytime on Dirty Air. Let's bullshit anytime, man. Always appreciate the time.
I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, buddy. Take care. Be well.
Thanks, Rodney.
You bet. It was right there, Chris Davidson. Great conversation right there, and for him to dive back in, and it really has. Over the years of watching Chris, kind of taking a step back. I mean, the time in Texas, a past Romco Super Late Model champion. The things that he did right here. His dad, Greg Davidson for the Texans that know Greg. I mean, that is a powerful racing family in the state of Texas, and Chris. Kind of taking the hierarchy there of kind of being the guy that carries the torch for the family and to see the different things that he's been doing. Man, I really love that. And it was really cool to see him out on the racetrack this past weekend, running a very good second place right there to Augie Grill. David Curtis Sloat, I believe is how I say that. Davidson met you in Florida with your wife. I mean, great people. Yes, absolutely. No doubt about that. I tell you, you meet those guys one time and you're gonna love them. I mean, because they are just great people. One of my Texas guys, Danny Davis out there in Smithville, Texas, checking in. And of course, Brad Long. I love this comment right here. Talking about when we were on the Orange Crush 200, we had those highlights right there, courtesy of Racing America. Got the opportunity to meet Honecutt at H&P after he won a race there. Just such a good dude. I mean, he's a good guy. Want to thank him for taking the time to take a picture and so forth. And I got to tell you, one of those cool stories, my man Foray checking in as well out there. Another one of those great Texas racers that continue to support H&P. And, we're going to make that place really solid once again, I think, with everything that's going on. But just kind of another word right there with Kaden Honecutt. He ran, it was a race at Coda. I think he was in a truck. I think it was the year ago. Went out and ran the race and, did whatever. And there's all these people around him because he ran a great race. I mean, he did, what Kaden does. It's kind of one of those things that I say all the time, Kaden Honecutt doing Kaden Honecutt things because a dude can drive anything. There were all these people standing around and I was like in the back over there just kind of doing whatever. Just wasn't even working at that point. I mean, I'd been there doing some media stuff, and by that point, I'd kind of gotten off the clock, and Honeycutt's sitting there talking to all these people, and he's got all these NASCAR journalists in front of him, and I'm in the very back over there, and he's like, Rodney. I'm like, I mean, that's my dude, and he's a very young guy, and that he does that. Petty family. Thank you guys. You guys are so kind to me. I appreciate all the support that you guys have followed along throughout the years. And of course, I follow you guys with your race team, and you've got one little hot shoe little lady right there that does some really, really cool stuff. The Petty family right here in Texas. Good stuff. And like I said, coming up, this is a weekend. We just went through a very busy weekend. We've got a big weekend that's coming up, and I can't wait for it. But stick around because we were talking right there to Chris Davidson, and this really is a Dirty Air show about comebacks, about guys that are coming back, friends of mine that have come back. Makes it even cooler. Coming up, going to talk to Logan Boyett, back behind the wheel there at Pensacola, just like Boyett does. He gets behind the wheel, and he parks it right in victory lane. That's coming up. Clean air is good. Times like this, Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central, Dirty Air, just a tad bit better. Guys, Dirty Air, It's where the short trackers gather. You guys stick around. More coming up.
Subscribe today to RacingAmerica.tv to join our racing community and get access to over 200 live pavement short track races each season from across the U.S. and Canada. Plus, RacingAmerica.tv has exclusive and behind-the-scenes coverage of the NASCAR Cup teams.
Enjoy competing with your teammates.
We already know. Subscribe today and claim additional discounts and access. And your front row seat to watch the excitement and drama.
Car lifts up in the air.
From grassroots to NASCAR, become a subscriber today at the home for race fans everywhere.
You're watching Racing America right here on Racing America.
Racing America. It's in our DNA.
Short tracks in America this weekend. Saturday, UARA sportsmen are at Auburndale, while grassroots racing's best tackle the high banks for the short tracks U.S. Nationals at Bristol. Past Super Late models and the Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series headline the 50th annual Icebreaker at Thompson, and it's bookended by Prolates at Five Flags and Nashville. It's all this weekend only on RacingAmerica.tv.
A great Thursday as we dive in. Like I say, this is where the short trackers gather. We all get together right here. We have a good time, and we just talk racing. That's what it's all about. And we are diving straight in as, man, it's so good to see when we get back and you get back to the racetrack and things start happening again. And the year kicks off, and you start seeing familiar faces back in victory lane. I talked to this dude, I think it was right back around snowball time. He was doing some other stuff there at Five Flags Speedway. I could tell that there was the burning desire, as they say, to be back behind the wheel once again and parking it in victory lane. Let's welcome back to Dirty Air. It is my man, Logan Boyett. How we doing, my man?
Doing great, Rodney, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. Easter good for all of you guys. I know that's a very important time of year for all of us.
Yeah, we had it's a great Easter. We had a really good spring break with some really close friends. Right before that, we ended up going up to Stone Mountain, Georgia in an RV for the week and took all the kids and my best friend and his family and they had two children. We went fishing and took the little skyway up to the top of the mountain, hiked a mile down, didn't realize we were a mile and a half from the car, turned into a little 2.5 mile hike real quick. And the little ones were begging for mercy by the time we got halfway there.
Oh man, the good those stories, man. I love it when they're little and you do things where you think you're doing something and it turns out to be something like that. It's stories that they'll appreciate once they get a little bit older. So for you, man, like I talked about, I mean, I saw you in December, saw you around the track and doing different things. It kind of sucks when you're there and you're not doing what you really want to be doing. It's good to be a part of it, but when you want to be behind the wheel, it's kind of tough when you're not doing that part.
Yeah, it really is. Sorry about that. I had to unplug that phone, otherwise it'll be blaring on us. No, it really was. I mean, I felt good about it after everything kicked off, but it was frustrating, but it was what needed to happen, really. I felt like we didn't push any envelopes to make things happen, and now things are kind of falling in place as they should, or as it seems like they should. So I don't feel like we pushed anything out of the ordinary. Didn't try to go and make a bunch of stuff happen. If a door opened, we would have taken it, but none of them opened, so I felt like it wasn't supposed to. No doors were supposed to open, so we just ran with it like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
oh, and now I'm feeling good again, so I'm happy we did it that way.
Yeah, kind of one of those things when it's not meant to be. I know there's been times when I've been behind the wheel and maybe I shouldn't be, and things kind of don't turn out right. So how did the new deal come along? How did all this kind of work? New/old? How'd the thing work out for you?
So the new deal really isn't really a new deal. Like you said, it's new old. We built a brand new race car for the Biles Racing stable here, and when I say we, I mean primarily Mark and Billy and Cole and Tom and Eddie. They did 97% of the 99% of the work. I came in and like pushed a couple things around at the end. They let me stay with the family and try to take care of myself, and didn't give me any grief. They were way better about it than they had to be and should have been probably. But they understood, from the family side of it and everything else, and I can't thank them enough for for not making it difficult on me or not making me feel guilty about anything. And they hammered that thing out. It took a year. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong putting that car together. It took us almost a month and a half to get the rear end back from the time we sent it back, because there was a mistake made here, mistake made there. Something was forgotten to be communicated, and then it got hit in shipping on the way back, and something else had to be replaced. Just that kind of thing was the narrative. But man, it was really good 2 weeks ago. I hope we can even be close to as good as it drove the first race out. And I mean, that's what you dream about, is coming back that strong. That's what all of us had dreamed for, but you don't think it's actually going to happen. You hope it does, but to actually think that we could have, because we struggled that day, but to come back like it was really great. We just got on a few other people. We got our Sealy sauce company back. They're fueling us now with their sauce company, which I think I think I gave you a bottle of it, and if not, I still have your bottles of sauce. And man, I'll tell you, that's some good stuff. And they came back on for a fuel sponsor, and then a longtime friend of mine, we went to high school together. He opened his own HVAC company, and Crowley Heating and Air. They came on board yesterday for every race this year. And I mean, those kind of things just fall into place, and I'm very thankful and very blessed to have that, have this situation that I'm in. That Mark never wanted to go to a different driver. He could have very easily said, look, Logan's not putting in the time. It's time for me to go somewhere else. And he never did. So I'm very thankful for the team for, still believing in me.
Yeah. And how great is that to come out of the box like that? I mean, even though, like you said, I mean, it's an old concept. I mean, it's you guys all back together again, but there's been time off, and the sport evolves so dadgum fast. I mean, the fact that you come out like that and you're able to put on a dominating performance like that, man, it's gotta make you guys feel pretty good here as we're just in 1 week, one race into 2024.
Oh, it does. I mean, it makes us feel really good. We also aren't being complacent about it, because the chance to have a race like we did is the way I need to put that. To have a race like we did 2 Fridays ago, it hardly ever happens, especially not in this outlaw division around here. I mean, it hardly happens anywhere in short track racing that you get to have a race like that. And to come out of the box with a brand new car. The car doesn't have 75 laps on it now after that race. And that's as many laps as I've got too. I haven't raced a single thing since March 11th of 2023. in Kinley when I got hurt. I got crashed up there, and I ended up coming back home and starting to hurt even worse. So, to come back like that, I was way more nervous about myself than the car. I thought I was going to let him down, to be honest with you. I thought I was going to fall out of the seat or just not be able to handle the pain. And man, I felt as good as I've ever felt getting out of a car. And the next day, I know it's only a 35 lap race, but still to come back from as bad as I felt and as poorly as I felt, as much as I hurt that entire last year, to feel as good as I do right now is something I didn't expect.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, it really is the theme of this show. Before you, I was talking to Chris Davidson right here on Dirty Air, and it was his first race back in a pro late model in some time. So we were kind of talking about that. He immediately, running up in the front there at Cordele, and you there at Pensacola with the Outlaws. And I was talking to him about the Outlaws. Lastly, let me ask you about that division, man, because I love that division. I mean, it's stacked full of drivers like yourself. They're just really, really badass drivers. I think 2024 is going to be a season to where this Outlaw division that tracks along the Southeast is really going to assert itself as just really one of the killer classes when it comes to killer classes or divisions that we're going to see racing at all these asphalt tracks.
Man, I really hope so. The class. Some of the social media stuff, I'm trying to figure out how to word this without putting myself back in that same category, is, some of the social media stuff and some of the way a couple of things were handled here and there, and some opinions, like, the class wasn't made to have $100,000 race cars.
Yeah.
And that's, and we don't have that now. That car was built, Seneca Performance built that chassis, hung the front suspension and the bottom of the interior tub, brake lines, and shipped it to us. And then Billy and Mark put the rest of the car together.
Mm-hmm.
So it was built here in our shop, and it's still, again, it's a brand new car, but we could have taken a 2006 car like we had and stripped it, powder coated it, and essentially had the same exact thing we've got now.
Yeah.
And that's where some of the argument is, because like these people that are really tough competitors, they don't have 20, 30-year-old parts that are falling apart that weren't of any good quality. They have the best quality parts they can get, and unfortunately that's the name of it, is to try to do the best of what you can. And that's what this division allows for. It allows for more of an equality across the board. Like there could be a couple different things. The only way they could really police much more about this division is either change the shock rules a little bit. And right now you can spend $1,500 a piece on shocks. We don't, but you can. But you can also get those shocks claimed for a tenth of that price. Yeah. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So, and then some people are saying change the transmission up. But again, they're using extreme examples, and I get it. Again, I'm kind of, I can only say so much because I'm driving a brand new race car, so I only get to say so much. But the car that we had in 2022, we won 3 of those races and had a couple mechanical failures take us out of what we felt like was 2 or 3 more wins. And that car was a 2005 car. It had the center section was the only original part. The entire rear clip was rebuilt. The dash bar had been rewelded in the car. The front clip was different. I mean, the 2 rear frame rails pointed like this. But it went where it was supposed to go. And the competitors in this division and their crews, they do such a dang good job of, for one, not messing with each other. Like, it's not like, oh, well, you outran me tonight, so I'm going to buy all your stuff. I'm going to go claim all your stuff. And everybody's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back and work harder next week. I'm going to come back and get you next week. And that's what happens. They go back home, they do their homework, they come back out, and they take care of you next week. And that's the way I feel like the racing should be. And fortunately it is right now. it's, I mean, a couple here and there, a few examples last year and the year before. I think there was a claim here and a claim there. Um, but everybody pretty much got on the same page. It seems like there's no handshake agreements or anything. It's kind of unspoken rules, I guess, which that could go against me this week if we're fortunate enough to be in a spot where a claim would apply to us. That could go against us now for me saying that, but
Yeah.
hopefully we can be in a position this weekend when the checkered flag drops for that to be a relevant conversation. But I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We've never done that. We just went back and worked harder, and Mark made the car faster, and Billy built something else that we didn't have to make it go. Make sure everything's within the rules and take care of your business.
That's right. So, lastly, Logan, for you guys, obviously, you talk about this weekend there at Pensacola. Any traveling for you guys? I know Mobile's kind of getting stronger there with their Outlaw class. We here in Texas, we've got a sponsor aboard, so things are going to be growing with Outlaws here. Hopefully, what's kind of the plan at this point? I know it's way early, but the plan for you guys this year.
Right now, we were just we're trying to make sure we've got us a good stable starting spot here, which again, last 2 weeks ago could have been a freak thing. Like I say, we don't go into this expecting that to happen again. We've done some work, done some homework and stuff, try to make it a little bit better. And if we can establish a decent decent platform, decent baseline here to where we feel confident leaving and going to Mobile. We do want to run a couple Mobile races. We also try to keep in mind Cole Peavy's racing schedule because he helps us and Billy helps us. And like without Billy, that car, wouldn't be as awesome as it is.
That's
and
right.
look as good as it does because he built that entire body himself. And I mean, man, he can do anything. And so we want to make sure we're being respectful of that and not abusing the guys. Like we had talked about going to Mobile next week, and right now we're going to get through Friday, see what next week holds for us. And we would like to go to Mobile. If they race at Montgomery, we would like to go there. We would like to go to Cordele, but it depends on how everything's going, how everybody's life is going as well.
Yeah, that's super important because life is first, and I think that's a lot of times where we kind of step on ourselves and forget all of that. Logan, it was so great to see you back on the track, dude. It's like you were never gone. Hell, you look better than ever, dude. Parking it in Victory Lane. I know you'll be at it again coming up tomorrow, as it would be. So good luck, my man, and keep doing it, brother. And I know I'll be seeing you soon.
All right, man. I appreciate it, Rodney. It was great to talk to you, man. Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely, buddy. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Short tracks in America this weekend. Saturday, UARA sportsmen are at Auburndale, while grassroots racing's best tackle the high banks for the Short Tracks U.S. Nationals at Bristol. Past super late models and the Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series headline the 50th annual Icebreaker at Thompson, and it's bookended by Pro Lates at Five Flags and Nashville. It's all this weekend only on RacingAmerica.tv.
Subscribe today to RacingAmerica.tv to join our racing community and get access to over 200 live pavement short track races each season from across the U.S. and Canada. Plus, RacingAmerica.tv has exclusive and behind-the-scenes coverage of the NASCAR Cup team.
Enjoy competing with your teammates.
We already know. Subscribe today and claim additional discounts and access, and your front row seat to watch the excitement and drama.
Car lifts up in the air.
From grassroots to NASCAR, become a subscriber today at the home for race fans everywhere.
You're watching Racing America right here on Racing America.
Racing America. It's
Racers are dedicated to winning. And Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed circle track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance circle track crate engines are engineered to win. Right out of the box.
Short tracks in America this weekend. Saturday, UARA sportsmen are at Auburndale, while grassroots racing's best tackle the high banks for the Short Tracks U.S. Nationals at Bristol. Past super late models and the Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series headline the 50th annual Icebreaker at Thompson, and it's bookended by prolates at Five Flags and Nashville. It's all this weekend only on RacingAmerica.tv.
Is right there. I figured out what was going on. Sorry about that, guys. If you can't find a racetrack, find a streamer that's going to get you right there in the middle of everything. Go there, subscribe to a streamer that's going to get you all fixed up and everything is good. Thank you all. One of those things about running a live show. All right, guys, a big thanks once again to all of the folks that checked in tonight. Cole Butcher, ASA Stars point leader as he wins the Sunshine State 200, trying to better that spot one more. Trying to win that ASA Stars National Championship. Chris Davidson back on the track, one of our Texans. And, of course, Logan Boyett. A great drive for him as he wins at Five Flags Speedway. He'll be on the track tomorrow there at Pensacola in the Outlaws. Man, I love this. I love this shadow. If you guys are chasing the thing that's coming, the one that we don't want to talk about, the eclipse, please be smart about doing that. All right, guys. Thank you all for being a part of Dirty Air. This is where the short trackers gather. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air just a tad bit better. We'll do it again next Thursday right here on Racing America. Enjoy your racing weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. It's Dirty Air on Racing America.